All right, so we'll get started with the first question.
So first questions, what is the origins of pain? Can you please explain us more detailed what is the pain and what is its origins? Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, I'll start with a little bit about, there's a few new people, so I'll start a little bit with kind of my journey, which started 22 years ago, and it started because of pain, because I wanted to investigate, I wanted to understand why I had so much. I was really young, I was 18, and I already had pain everywhere in my body. I had pain in my digestive organs, I had migraines, I had back pain, and even though physically nobody could ever find what the problem was with my body, I was supposedly extremely healthy, yet I experienced all this pain. And that kind of brought me on this journey of meditation and seeking like deeper understanding of where it was coming from and energy healing. So what I have found over the last 22 years is that the pain is actually good. How many of you think that pain is good? Everyone, okay. Because your body is actually talking to you and it's telling you where the problem is, okay? Unfortunately, we are taught that if it is something that brings us discomfort, or if it is something that makes us uncomfortable or gives us pain of some sort, it's not very good. But in a way, it's our body trying to tell us that there's a deeper underlying kind of issue that we need to start to look at. So what I have found is that in reality, the pain starts to originate, the physical pain that you feel, or is actually starting, the origination starts years before, usually between 5 and 10 years before you start to actually feel the physical symptom, okay? So let's say if you were a teen when you started to have, like I started to have, for example, migraines when I was about 15, 16. So we can say my actual pain started to originate maybe when I was around 5, right? Which is really crazy. So the energetic aspect of the origination of pain started at probably the age of 5. And the energetic aspect is really the blockages that start to happen within your subtle bodies, okay? And if I'll explain a little bit about what that is if some of you don't know, or within your chakras, okay? So your body, your physical body, has many layers around it, which comprise of the aura. And those layers are called the subtle bodies. Each one has a specific function for a specific aspect, okay? And they are connected to your physical body through chakras, okay, which are vortexes of energy, which actually bring down the kind of vibration of the energy which comes from the cosmos into your physical body, so if your physical body can actually start to use that energy to be alive, okay, for the different processes. So what happens is within the subtle body, if there is some kind of a blockage, okay, or some kind of a channel through which the energy is not flowing, or some kind of negative energy which gets stuck within it, that energy cannot flow, which is coming from the universe, which we are all receiving on a constant basis, called the prana. It cannot flow through your chakras, and eventually it doesn't come into your organs, okay? So the organ stops to receive the 100% energy that it's supposed to receive. So even though you're feeding your body, you're eating, you're drinking, right? You're taking your supplements, you're being good to your body, the actual energy which keeps your body alive, which is the pranic energy, is not reaching your cells and your organs 100%. So as a result, it starts to minimize or reduce the function of each organ which is being compromised, okay? And eventually you start to experience discomfort, pain. Maybe the pain is just once in a while in the beginning, and then it becomes stronger and stronger. Okay, so that is the mechanism of actually starting to feel pain. This is the moment when you start to feel pain, when your body says, okay, you need to really pay attention, because if you don't start to pay attention now, you're going to really start to break down physically, okay? Then you start to have the disbalances within also chakras, right? So they start to slow down or they become more blocked. And all these blockages can there can be different originations of the blockages. Like it can be just stagnant energy, or it can be just negative beliefs, okay, or negative emotions. It can also be just things that you have picked up from others, okay, some negative energies or generational things that you have picked up from your parents that kind of get embedded over time, okay, and it's just like layer. It's kind of like, if you didn't shower, right, your skin would accumulate the dirt, and you start to develop skin disease. It's the same way if your aura starts to accumulate this negative energy over time, it starts to become diseased, right, and then it gets passed on to your physical body. A couple of other things that can affect pain, right, or that can make you experience pain in your physical body is toxicity. So a lot of us have heard about like environmental toxicity. We've heard about toxicity in our water, in our food. We also know about toxic people, right? So that toxicity also builds up within our physical body, and especially if it is actual like heavy metals and things like that, and because it compromises the functions of the organs, it starts to create discomfort for your physical body, and then your physical body is trying to tell you, okay, I'm in pain, just take a look at this organ or take a look at this part of the body. And also food, okay? So how many of you here are vegetarian, let's say? Okay, more than half, okay. How many of you use alcohol? Almost no one. Yeah, I mean, intake in alcohol. Okay. Occasionally.
A glass of weed.
No, occasionally.
Counts?
No, I'm not talking about daily use of alcohol. I'm talking about like occasional use of alcohol. Right. Okay. Cigarettes? No. Okay. Awesome. No smokers here. So,
Just quit.
you just quit. Oh.
2 weeks ago.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome. So toxicity, right, can come from different places. It can come through your food, okay? It can come through occasional or often alcohol or cigarettes or any kind of substance abuse or even medication, okay? And that toxicity collects in your body over time, okay? So unless you have a system of kind of getting rid of those toxins from your body, they tend to stay within your body, and over time they just accumulate, and then they start to cause discomfort. So in terms of food, like if you're not, their food can also be differentiated into different categories. But if you're putting food into your body that is not filled with life energy or prana, right, which is basically fruits and vegetables, but you input food into you which is processed or which is animal products and things like that, it can minimize the amount of energy that your body receives, and as a result you also start to experience. So if you look at all these different aspects in your life and you start to clear them up, you will start to notice that the pain or discomfort that you are experiencing within your body starts to reduce. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay.
Do you think is there a more common manifestation of negative, like kind of like the general negative energy? Like I'm not talking about like a reaction to like a traumatic experience, but just the kind of like, oh, this, that, and everything. Like, have you ever read or come across or from experience in working in
like
this
you
field?
mean like a collective energy, like a collective consciousness?
No, I just mean like is there a specific relationship between that type of general negative thought patterns and physical pain?
Yes.
That it doesn't manifest like in a certain type
Definitely.
of way, like I don't know, back pain, like musculoskeletal pain.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like for example, issues with digestive organs, specifically liver, gallbladder, would be emotions related, okay, and it would be related to things connected to generational stuff, okay, that gets passed on from parents to children, okay.
So that's mostly digestive.
It would be mostly digestive, but also related, really focused on liver and gallbladder areas, okay? Like if you looked at actual stomach, right, which you're like the digestion, like maybe high acidity or ulcers and things like that, that would be connected to things like ego, okay? So it could be either a very overactive ego, or it could be a suppressive. So it could be either or, okay? It would also, for example, pain with the legs, like hip joints, knee joints, leg issues. That would be mostly connected with issues where a person cannot ground correctly or connect to the electromagnetic field, or stagnation of negative energy just build up over time.
But
Okay?
then, like, that type of pain can also be from, like,
Arthritis.
or just, like, years of playing a sport or something like that, which is not what you're talking about, right?
Correct. No, I'm talking
Right,
about
I
specific,
understand.
I'm talking about, like, let's talk about, like, say, arthritis, right, which is
Yeah.
inflammation,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
If you look at inflammation, your body will inflame in those areas where there's stagnant energy, okay? So if you got rid of the stagnant energy and you got rid of any toxicity which is in the joints, you can technically reverse things, right? And I know of people who have reversed things. Then, for example, if it was specifically knees, like constant knee injuries, not specifically connected to professional athletes, but just in general, that would be fears, or that would be things related to emotions that are stored within the knees. If it was something related to kind of the back, that is emotions.
You said knee problems, it's related to fears?
Fears and like emotions that are stored. Okay.
How
Are
is
we
that?
gonna review all those again? Or should we, like,
How-
No, it's
Is that
really
right?
interesting.
Yeah. So definitely there are different issues that are connected to, or different emotions, or different patterns of thinking, or different energetic consequences of the pains, because that pain will be related to that part of the body, right? So like, for example, too much mental activity or too much of logic will cause issues with the brain and headaches and migraine, stress, right? So that's
What about the lower back pain?
So back in general is connected to issues that are connected with support, okay, because that is your support system. So if you look at the back itself, then it is your support system. So if a person has issues with feeling supported, or doesn't have enough support, or is carrying too much on their shoulders, issues with shoulders.
But that's shoulders, but what about like
Lower
the
back
lower
is
back?
mostly grounding,
Grounding.
and it could also be related to the organs connected to the front, which is your first or second chakra. So you have to kind of
And
look.
neck, it's like when you're carrying too much on your side.
Usually shoulders,
Mhm.
neck. Again, which part of the body is very important, right? Some of you have taken. Yeah, go ahead.
So what if you have somebody who's got back pain, but like, they don't really have, what would appear to be that many responsibilities, right? It's like a
Depends
kid-
where the back is, because like if it was shoulders, it can also be partly connected to your throat or
It could
emotions.
be like a different thing that causes them to feel, if they feel like they have a lot to do, but they
Yeah.
don't necessarily do it,
Exactly.
that'll cause the same thing.
It could cause the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it can
Yeah.
also be something related to the heart chakra.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
what about the heart? Like, what
Yeah,
is
you
it?
would specifically have issues
Like
around the shoulders.
palpitations?
Right, if like if you had, for example, chest pains, or like,
Like
kind of,
palpitations?
yeah,
What is
could
that?
be palpitations or discomfort in
Liver
the
is third chakra, right? Liver is.
liver would be the
Third?
third, yes, correct.
I thought it's alcohol, it's third chakra.
But in general, I mean, there's like, there could be different sources, right? It's like
You have to investigate.
figure it out, right?
Correct. So like when a person comes to us, right, and we do the aura photography, for example, as a first diagnostic tool, and we look at, okay, like first chakra is blocked, second chakra is blocked, fifth chakra is blocked, whatever, right, where are the disbalances, and then you can start to work on, okay, root chakra issues with, fear, stability, family, whatever, right? So you start to investigate those aspects, or throat, emotions, communication, suppression of personal emotions or communication, things like that. So you start to see, and then typically the person will have issues with pain in those parts of the body, okay? Or they would have issues, not always pain, but it could be just an issue with an organ in that part of the body, okay? So it could be, for example, a weak heart, okay? Or maybe issues with often a person getting colds often, right? So respiratory organs or coughs. So you kind of like relate that chakra to that issue. So like, with the multi-diagnostic tool that we have, some of you have gotten it done, we go through like, I don't know, 150 questions, and like based on different aspects, and then it's very easy to see, okay, this is the subtle body, this is the chakra, this is the problem, okay, and it's karmic or it's generational or it's personal, right? Whatever. Okay, so yeah.
You were talking about the like chest pains and palpitations. Like, what could that mean? Like, what is that?
It could be many things. It could be that the heart chakra is closed. Okay, there could be some fears or doubts or self doubts, right? It could be lack of connection to community. It could be just anything that helps you to connect to love, issues in relationships, like love relationships specifically, or places where you feel love, right? So it could be parental love, it could be, it could be a lot of different things.
What about skin?
Skin is emotions, right? So if someone has issues with skin, like, like chronic issues we're talking about, so like eczema.
But what about like sensitivity?
Acne. Oh, sensitivity,
Yeah.
like rosacea, or just sensitive skin
like
in general?
me, for example, like I'm very sensitive to oils.
Okay.
Like recently, again, like I work
Okay.
out like crazy.
Okay.
So
It
like,
could
what could that be?
it could be a lot of suppressed emotions, okay, or suppression of emotions by others, okay. And they coming to the surface because oils will bring it out. And it could also be toxicity in the body that once you start to apply the oils, they
Because
like
it's
kind
not
of pull
everywhere.
it
It's
out.
only like on my chest, my neck, and like my face.
Specific areas. Okay, so then yes, then you address those
And
chakras.
I don't even put oils on my face.
Yeah, but it goes there.
Yeah, it's always on my neck, my chest, and like the back of my
Yeah.
neck, always.
So it's all.
And I put it on my stomach, like I put it everywhere
and
else.
it doesn't go
no.
anywhere.
No.
So then you have to address specifically, okay, what's going on with the heart chakra? So these are the aspects for the heart. What's going on with the throat? And sometimes we don't realize, we may feel, I don't feel that, I'm outspoken and stuff, but over time, if there has been an emotional suppression, or if there has been specific relationships or specific people that have kind of tried to push their emotions or opinions or energies on you, it can cause disbalance energetically, and as a result, this is a symptom, like your body is saying, okay, look at these areas because this is where the toxicity is. And it could also be just
emotional toxicity.
Emotional, but it can also be physical toxicity, because if let's say if you have part of your body which is weakened, right, energetically weakened, then it will also be physically weakened, so the toxins will stay in that part of the body longer than in other parts.
Can
because
ever-
those
I'm
organs.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can ever work backwards? Can like a physical
It can be backwards.
injury start
Yes.
causing that
It
energy
can be
blockage?
backwards, but it typically, even the injury is happening because, right, because of a weakness that happened over time. Yeah.